All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the best of the Group 32 stage for Southern Cross Dota Tide's Wrath Season 3. And it's been a long time since I've been in the casting booth with this man, Ragnarok, but we are finally back together. How you going, buddy?
Not bad. It has been a very long while. You were supposed to be doing some casts with me, but down at Respawn Land. But unfortunately, you were too busy playing the game instead of casting it. But yeah, it is good that we're back together. I think it was the Alienware series, the Australia New Zealand Alienware Regionals. The last time we probably casted together.
Yeah, and that was about a good year ago, and it is a shame about Respawn, but, you know, to the best of our ability and to our confusion as well, we actually did a lot better than we thought. So we did more playing than casting, which I was quite surprised to do. But we are here now. We've got a pretty decent pretty decent game ahead of us. We've got Can't Say Whips and Team Alpha here for a nice best of three. And I must say, the lineup, the players themselves, we've got some pretty big names there. We've got Jizz Bond, who's Godo. We've got Slicks, who played for Frenetic Array back in DreamHack Winter in Hon, and was considered one of the best. He was considered one of the best mids of the time. And then you got, Z Muffin Man's the fairly common. Well, he's well known in the Dota scene, I must say, in Oz Dota at least.
Very well known. Yeah, Jizzbond definitely Godot, not Godot.
Goddo. Goddo.
Not Goddo. Godot.
It's Goddo.
Was a part of Absolute Legends for a very, very long time there. When the Australian team was sponsored, yes. As you were saying. But anyway, we are into picks and bans at the moment, so we will quickly run through those. Dark Seer and Batrider being banned out by Can't Say. No surprise there. Batrider, I think out of all the professional games, out of like the 3,000 and something professional games, there is only 3 games that he hasn't been picked or banned in any game whatsoever. So no surprise there seeing him being banned out. And we have an Elder Titan being banned as well as a Wisp. So the Elder Titan, I'm not too sure on that ban, but we'll see how that works out throughout the game.
Oh, look, they're very typical bans, especially with Elder Titan slowly moving his way into the meta game because he's so dominant with his ancestral spirit and his passive. It's just so strong to nullify all magic armor and base magic armor and a fair chunk of base armor as well. But we are going to see standard picks coming out for the first and second picks for both teams here. Naga Siren and Visage definitely picked and banned fairly regularly, especially Naga Siren, making her way as a first pick. She's so good at supporting lane with that net that goes up to 5 seconds. Plus the negative R on Riptide, and of course, Song of the Siren. It's a team fight reset. It can be a free Roshan. It's so powerful. And Visage as well, with his Soul Assumption. It's perfect for an aggressive tri-lane. And then, of course, you got Can't Say Whips picking up the Nyx Assassin and the Chen as well. Another 2 dominant heroes, especially Nyx. Once he hits that level 6, your supports have to be so much more on their toes and warding so much more aggressively and defensively at the same time.
Yeah, Naga's been one of these really, really weird ones that have come out onto the scene. When she first came out onto the scene, she was a hard carry, farming up in the lane. She had very good base damage early on, but then after a couple of nerfs and stuff like that, she sort of just disappeared out of the scene completely until people realised that she can be picked up as a support and just how much damage she can do, especially with the net lockdown as well as that Riptide, as you said, just the amount of damage that can come out of her with not having too many levels. And then once she has level 6, she basically has the team fight reset. So, the No Fun Naga coming out. But yes, Nyx Assassin, it looks like both teams have picked up both of their supports really early on here. Unless Nyx Assassin, of course, is going to be going into that mid-roll, where once he can get that level 6 very, very quickly, he can just go ganking anywhere he wants, anywhere around the map. And plus having a Chen on there, you always have that global heal. Most likely he will be going into the jungle, as we see most Chens do. And picking up a couple of creeps early on, and most likely going for a very early push on one of the lanes, depending on how much counter push the Alpha team actually gets.
Look, they've got so much more potential, and we've seen them ban out Puck and Furion, and so they obviously don't want a bit of a no rat Dota today. He says Suck on D's, I'm assuming is the captain. We can't actually tell, but they're going to still have a lot of push coming against them from Chen. So they're going to have to be quite defensive early game, and if Can't Say Whips, I'm going to call them Can't Say Wisp because it's easier, or CSW. If CSW go for that safe lane top, then either Alpha are going to have to contest that with their own tri-lane, or if they send a solo top, that tower's probably going to fall really quickly within the first 4 or 5 minutes or so, and then they can make a straight run for that tier 2 at top lane. So they're going to have to sort of try and counterpick that heavy push that we're going to see on CSW at the moment, Rag. And we are down into the picking phase, and like you said, you could see that Nyx on mid, although he is primarily a support. So if we assume that's two supports, well hold on. We've got the Alchemist coming out, so there's your safe lane carry, and you've got your two supports there already. So we still need a mid and an off lane for Alpha, and we still...
That's looking quite heavily an aggressive tri-lane right there. With the Naga
Definitely.
Visage as well as Alchemist, that's looking very good with the aggressive tri-lane. And the best thing about it for them is that they've seen the Chen pick up, so they know it's going to be most likely a defensive tri-lane coming out from Kansai. And Nyx is one of those ones, he can be very good early on, but he's only got one Impale and it's on such a long cooldown, especially at level 1. He really doesn't have anything else to back it up, so their carry that they're going to have to pick up for this lane is going to have a pretty heavy stun to come in with it as well.
Well, a stun is great, but you could also have a nice strong slow there as well. Or it depends on what they have. If they've got enough carry coming out, sorry, enough burst coming out from the carry, plus they've got another hero to run in their lane.
It wouldn't surprise me at all if we saw some sort of like a Luna may most likely come out there. Someone who has a lot of nuking potential, especially in that. But the hardest thing for them is going to be they're going to have to play very safe. Luna does have that very short attack range. They will want some sort of range carry, obviously, because it will most likely be 2v1 up there with Chen coming in only out of the jungle every now and then. But a Timbersaw pick up now instead, and that would either be their long lane or their mid lane. Either way.
These days, probably a mid. Well, he's about 50-50 these days, really, actually.
Yeah, well, he's got the Timber Chain, so he's going to be able to get out of there ganks pretty easy. As long as he gets it off just before a stun hits, he should be able to get out very easily on that long lane. He's one of those toss-up champions. He can either go into the mid lane or he can go into the long lane and still play reasonably defensive and reasonably smart and pick up the levels when needed.
Yeah, and that's why Timbersaw excels at what he does, because he can get those early levels, he can get the early, and all his skills are pure damage, mind you. That early levels just means so much damage. And now a level 7 or 8 Timbersaw going through a level 3 or 4 support, and he just churns them up. And now we've got a Clockwork pick coming out for Alpha, so we'll probably see him soloing the top lane at this stage. Although Alchemist Visage Naga, we could see that aggressive tri-lane I was mentioning before, which means Clockwork will have safe lane bot.
Clockwork will just be the solo side laner.
Solo safe lane, and he'll go utility.
He'll be solo side lane.
What do you think though?
Lane, sure.
Utility, or like probably see a mech on Clockwork, or just go straight for more aggressive like Arganims?
It really depends on the lane that he's going to be going into. Until we know exactly where they're going to be branching off, if they're going to go for that aggressive tri-lane, if they're going to go off for anything else. Because if they do go that aggressive tri-lane, they get a couple of early kills. It wouldn't surprise me if the Visage actually picked up the mech very early on. Clockwork would have a lot of farm. It would give him the opportunity to get down there and actually burst out a bit more damage. But we do have a Mirana pickup, so that's most likely going to be our hard carry for Kansai with that Nyx and the Chen coming out of the jungle. She's got good range, she's got a nice hard stun as long as it lands, and she's got a lot of nuke damage that can come out. Plus, the ultimate can just give her team so much mobility, being able to sneak around during the night time. But last two bans, Queen of Pain banning out a mid laner, which is what it looks like they're going to be going for, and an Outworld Destroyer, and a Shadow Fiend. I love it!
Ooh,
I love it already.
I do like Shadow Fiend.
Already.
That aura is going to be so brutal, considering you're going to have Clockwork's Battery Assault. Oh no, Battery Assault's physical now. Magical now, never mind, ignore me. But you're going to have a lot of damage, plus you've got the negative armor from Riptide, you've got the negative armor from Acid Spray, and there's a -6 from Presence of the Dark Lord. That's a lot of minus armor. That's, what, almost an Assault Cuirass? In terms of armor
I
decrease?
just love the synergy of this lineup right now. Shadow Fiend doesn't have a lot of lockdown, and that's his biggest issue, especially in teams. He doesn't have a lot of lockdown, but you've got Nagasong into Clockwork with his cogs. The Shadow Fiend can wind up while the Nagasong's going off. Alchemist has a stun, and in that range of Clockwork's cogs, all of them are going to get stunned. With the AOE, and then you've got the Visage that can obviously deal out Soul Assumption, plus have the Familiars dropping down and banging smack on their head. But we will quickly, last pickup was Alina, so this looks like it will be a solo mid Nyx.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be. Who's on Nyx? I'll quickly run you through, I'll go through CSW, Rag. We've got Jizz Bond Godot, however he wants to be called, and he will be playing on the Lena. We'll have Slicks playing that Mirana, going into top with the safe lane. We're going to have Z Muffin Man playing on the Nyx Assassin. Similarly, he'll be playing up top. We've got the Timbersaw being picked up by ganking mid. Hopefully we'll see him doing a lot of what his namesake says so. And we're going to see Guani on that Chen, riding his noble steed into battle. And thanks, Clockwork.
Quickly switch over to Alpha. We do have Suck on D's. He will be playing on the Visage. We have Untamed. He is on that big and scary Goblin Man of Alchemist. We do have the Goblin Clockworks. He will be playing, being played by White Yakasha, something like that along those lines.
Yaksha.
Yeah. Ice is Nice will be on the Naga Siren, and we do have Shadow Fiend being played by Smithy420. So we do have the game. It is underway at the moment, and it looks like it will be defensive tri-lane against defensive tri-lane. Clockwork will be going up into that top lane, so it wouldn't surprise me in the least if we actually saw him pick up the mech now.
Yeah, he's definitely got to go for that mech, but he's going to have to be careful, because I really think that that top tower is going to be falling reasonably quickly at top. And he's actually going to have to be quite careful, because once that Chen sort of roams around, he could be in a bit of trouble.
Solo mid Lena.
What? Okay, well,
yeah. This is a Dendy move right now. This is definitely a Dendy move.
In Hon, Pyromancer was one of the stronger mid solos because he had a really good attack animation and projectile speed. But in Dota, Lena has the most horrible attack projectile and attack animation in the game. She has to rub her left breast before throwing a ball of fire. And it's actually, if you look at it, it is the slowest attack animation in the game, close to Clinkz and I think Drow. So it's you know, not great for a mid when you got Shadow Fiend, who's got a pretty decent animation and projectile speed. Although right now Smithy420 is taking a bit of damage to both Jizbont to Godot, and he's losing last hits. It's 1-0 to 7-2 at the moment, Rag. That's not great for a Shadow Fiend, especially when you need souls. You need souls to get damage.
Just a quick thing. Do you have your in-game mic on, because I can't see it showing up in the corner?
Ooh, give me a sec.
Just for all those in-game listeners, they're hearing everything I say and they can't hear a damn thing you say.
Let's see. It should be working now. How about now? There we go. That seems to be working a bit now. Is that appearing for you, Rag?
No, it's not appearing for me, but as long as it's showing up for you, it shouldn't be too much of an issue.
It's still there. It's still definitely there, which is an improvement at least.
Probably just because I have my sound all the way down. That's probably the only thing. But we do have a look. We see Gunny. He is in the jungle. He's stacking up. He managed to get himself a Wilkin first off. So he was stacking camps. He was getting up those early levels, being able to use the Tornado to get everything he can. Shadow Fiend, he is level 3. He's got 2 levels in Razors now, so he shouldn't have too much of an issue being able to farm. He still only has 4 hits, but Jizbon, you have a look, goes in, tries to get a couple sneaky attacks on it, but Smithy very, very well dodged out of the way. Go back down to bottom, ganking mid. He's got absolutely nothing on him at the moment. He doesn't even have a single last hit, and neither does the Clockwork. So we have a look down here. Clockwork's at least at level 2. Where we've got the Timbersaw. He's only at level 1, but he's going 1v1 with the Visage at the moment.
Yeah, look, that's what they need to do. They need to shut that Timbersaw out while they can. He hasn't actually gone for the level in reactive armor, which means he's going to have to play a bit more passively. He's not going to have that extra regen for him to stay alive and sustain himself in that lane. And look at this, you can see Suck on D's, the Visage, just pushing him out of lane with those auto attacks. And damn, Visage does hit hard. 56 damage for an int hero. It's not too shabby, considering you see most strength heroes hitting about that. And we're actually seeing also, Rag, a look... we're seeing actually Lena is doing really, really well in that mid lane. 16-5 to the 9-2 Shadow Fiend. And up at top, 18-10 on that Mirana. Slicks just last hitting like a pro right now. And the only person higher than him at the moment is the Alchemist, who of course does have that. And he's got a concoction charging, 2 seconds left. And there it is, 210 damage on the ganking mid. He's going to drop down there. Visage, Suck on D's, gets first blood on that Timbersaw. And that was a nice net soul assumption. Not soul assumption, Grave Chill and Concoction combo, and that's what they're going to need to pull off in the in that tri-lane. And it's quite a brutal combo. You've got that Alchemist done. 2.5 seconds at level 2.
Oh, mid lane.
Mid lane, what have we got? I
Chen
caught
just
him at the
actually
end.
dived in. Just dived in behind the tower. Lena was going on him. Let the Chen come in with the Centaur Stomp straight after the, what is it called? Light Strike Array. and managing to beat down on him in the back while Lena was just trying to keep the creeps on her side, so it wasn't actually going anywhere. But Shadow Fiend does end up going down, so that's going to cut his souls in half again. He is only at 9, now 10. He's got 2 points up in that Necro Mastery, and he just wants more points up in that Shadow Ray so he can farm a bit quicker.
Okay, I've actually just... So... I've just been told by one of the SCD guys the mic was fine, so it must just be your end, Rag, that's not picking it up. But apparently it seems to be good, which is good. Crisis averted. Hopefully it's not coming out too loud now since I changed the threshold. But everything seems to be back to normal. And we've actually gone... What's the gold like? Look at this, Rag. We're 4 minutes in, and it's even in gold. It's 30 gold difference. Considering First Blood went in the way of Alpha, and then CSW counted on their mid hero, that's good to see it's equal, and especially when they've got that Alchemist. Alchemist is getting near free farm. He's picked up the Hand of Midas recipe. He's got enough to get that Hand of Midas now, so he's going to make his way to that secret shop probably quite soon, just to pick up that Midas and start that dollar bills coming into him. Here we go. He's going straight for it now. Pick up the Midas, start farming, and he's going to get heaps of gold, heaps of levels. He's going to start skyrocketing, and that's not what they want. The Alchemist, while he might not be the best 6 vs 6, like, completely item-slotted hero, but what he does is he gets his 6 items at 30 minutes, 35 minutes, which is why he's such a strong carry, because he snowballs out of control. And I've actually just missed a kill on the top lane, Rag. Mirana, the Slicks, just killed White Yaksha, the Clockwork, up on top lane. It looks like with the help of the Muffin Man, the Nyx assassin there, so that's good play, and Slicks is just going to keep farming now. 370 GPM, 31 and 13. Clockwork, unfortunately, only level 4.
And then Lena takes out Shadow Fiend. And then Lena takes out Shadow Fiend in mid lane. Gets the ultimate.
What were we saying about that Lena mid?
Yeah, apparently absolutely amazing. There's nothing anyone could ever do to beat her down. This was the way it was going to go, though. Shadow Fiend needed a really, really good start. He's one of these sort of heroes that needs to snowball out of control really early on. But unfortunately, Jizbon managed to get up quite a few levels, got the last hits and denies, and is just now got the level 6 and is just now able to burst him down whenever she pleases. Especially with Laguna Bay, she does have arcane boots, will be picking up a regen rune, so only 27 seconds left, and she's going to be able to do that once again. But we do have a look. The bottom lane is actually pushing up in the way. And it looks like
Timbersaul's in trouble
underneath the tower, and it was not a really good.
There he goes!
Will go down.
He's back.
Was not nearly screwed up, and here comes Lena. Lena's coming down into this lane now, wants to pick up the Visage, but will not. The stun will come out from Alchemist. He was not going to be able to get it once again. Wants to go down under that Lena, but Lena does have Laguna Blade up once again. Wonder if they know, and there we go, straight down on the Alchemist, absolutely smashes him out of that lane, and that'll give Timbersaw a bit of room now.
Look, these guys, I was still watching top, about to comment on Slicks and the Muffin Man up top, and that's just a jerk combo. Nyx comes in, impales, and Mirana just stands next to him and just throws an arrow at his face, and bam, 3 seconds stun. What can you do about it? And that's happened to Clockwork twice now, but I did miss that for Lena, Godot. Just going down and just pumping that Laguna Blade straight into the face of... who did he get with it? Into the face of Alchemist. And with it being on a 70-second cooldown of a few patches ago, that ulti is just so strong. It's a 400 damage nuke or so with the magic resist, and it's every minute. That's just silly.
And the push is now coming down onto that top lane. We knew it was going to come. Clockwork Goblin can't do anything about this. They're just going to push down on this tower. They will be able to push down again. There is actually a couple of people. The 2 supports from bottom lane have actually TP'd into the mid. They want to get down onto this Lena. Lena playing very, very smart. She does have a very good attack range, so she can stay out of trouble. Yeah, she can stay out of trouble quite a bit. And there we go, Vanish goes in, and it looks like they're going to be coming down. They want this Clockwork Goblin, but he's going to move back. They don't know.
Shadow Fiend's having a bad time.
Yeah, Haste Rune does come down on top, and there we go. The Naga Siren is going to be jumping in here. The slow comes out. Naga does net Riptides, but Jizbon just stands there and goes, "Yeah, is that all you got?" Okay,
they're definitely in trouble though, Rag. We've got a sort of a bit of a wraparound coming here. Slick, Squani, and Muffin Man are in between that tier 1 and that tier 2 tower in that middle lane, and I don't know if Ice is Nice and Suck on D's have sort of seen it coming, but they've bailed out as quick as they can. There's no one in the mid lane, which means Jizbond now has the freedom to push that tower, and the supports and Slicks are now rotating around over that mid tower. It's going to fall quite quickly. We've got the Skeleton Warriors, so doing a little bit, 24 damage a hit. That tower's going to go down to Nix's house, giving him a nice boost in gold, about 3k advantage to Can't Say Whips at the moment. And they've given themselves a nice lead in both gold and experience, sitting about 3k either way.
Again,
and now ganking mid's in trouble down at bot. He does Timber Chain away after receiving that soul assumption, and I think a cocktail. No, the cocktail didn't go off. But
no, the cocktail did definitely go off. They did the same thing as they did last time. They didn't chain him right. The net went out. The the unstable concoction went off at the same time. So basically, it was the same stun time for both of them. But the most interesting thing I have just seen was the Lina with the Dagon.
Well, that's a 1,000 damage nuke.
Definitely.
Well, why not?
400 damage to begin with, but it looks I most likely will be building this up into a level 5 Dagon.
I thought
absolutely annihilate.
I saw the gold and thought 900 gold, Blink Dagger, and look at this. Here we go. Oh, that looks painful.
Great teamwork.
Alchemist just exploded to the Laguna Blade Dagon combo, and that's 1,075 damage straight up. And now we've got Smithy 420 on the run from the Chen. Did I say that? Shadow Fiend running from the Chen? Does that,
yeah, it's weird. But
does that happen?
Alchemist, no, I've never seen a game where that's happened. Alchemist has gone for a very greedy build so far. He's gone for the face boost, he's gone for the hand of Midas. He does have a Quelling Blade. He's got no strength items whatsoever. So I reckon the strength treads, if he had strength treads, he might have been able to live in that situation, but he's not going to be able to do it now. But Alchemist back down in the bottom lane. Timbersaw down here by himself. Timbersaw up to level 7 now. Has got plenty of room. And here we go. The Chen has spotted out the 2 supports, and he's just running in. There goes the Troll Trap. There goes the sub as well. The nuke goes off. And will he be
taking a
able
lot
to
of
get
damage.
this? The Soul Assumption has come out, and it will. And Silence comes out, but no, he's not going to be able to do it. But it looks like Alchemist could be in a bit of trouble.
Laguna Blade almost up.
Laguna Blade,
Laguna Blade is up.
Just needs vision.
Oh, he doesn't get it. The Dagon has been popped as well, so I assume that went on him as too. Onto from Jizbond onto that Alchemist, but we didn't really see the follow up there. Although now we're going to have to run. We do have Laguna Blade up. Dagon's in 15 seconds. He's got 700 gold stacked up again, ready to go. And Lina is now the highest GPM. They do still have that Mirana, just farming safely at top. She's got a Perseverance, so probably going straight for that Lincoln's, which I like that on Mirana. It's a reliable
Very
build.
old school build.
It is. It's a
Very old school.
It's a good build
right
though.
there.
It is a good build. But he's got the freedom with Jizbond just roaming around the map, picking off heroes like Alchemist, who's in a world of trouble at the moment. It gives Slicks the freedom to farm that top lane, put a bit of damage onto that tier 2 top, and you've got Timbersaw on the bottom lane. I'd say it's Rat Dodo, but it's really not, because they're just pushing out the lanes really well, and they're being aggressive with the heroes who aren't pushing out. It's good Dodo.
Nyx Assassin.
Look
at where he's hiding at the moment.
He's using him as bait, and Godot's in a bit of trouble. Unstable Concoction comes out from Alchemist, but he receives a Laguna Blade to the face in the meantime. Ice is nice, does manage to get a net off onto Godo, but Suck on D's the Visage cleans it up with a Soul Assumption. But that was a good trade. I mean, Alchemist was like, here, have a concoction. Lena was like, here, have a Laguna Blade. Dagon.
We have Nyx Assassin on the hunt. He's going to jump on this clockwork right now. He's just running behind him. He doesn't have long left. No, he comes out of the stealth.
There it runs. He
knows where the clockwork is.
He's going to go him anyway.
Beat down on him a little bit. Yeah,
he's going to have. He's got friends coming. Nice stun.
Pick up the Visage with that Impale.
Oh, Slicks leaps into that, and Clockwork hook shots across the map. Slicks taking a lot of damage, goes down to White Yaksha, and that was just unfortunate from Slicks. He leapt as Clockwork was ulting in, and Alchemist has just stunned the Muffin Man after picking up an Invis rune, so as Muffin Man gets away, and he's looking for a bit of vengeance, is he? I think he's just been spotted on a sentry ward. He has. This isn't good for Muffin Man. He's been netted by Ice is Nice, and now Clockwork. Alchemist wants to stun him. He's charged up the cocktail, but he's going to die and end up being self-stun. So it's a nice little comeback from Team Alpha there. Just managing to pick off a couple of heroes, just in misplacement was all. You know, the Slicks was caught out. So was Muffin Man. So was Godo threw his life away, but he got a kill in doing so. So it's going.
A couple of mistakes coming out from CSW. They weren't forced by Alpha at all. They were all their own mistakes, and it looks like we do have. Where is ganking mid going? He's picking himself up a point booster, so it looks like he's going to be going straight in for that magical bloodstone that Timbersaws love so much and can
Such a
do it.
good item.
And here we go. They're going to be walking around the corner. The two supports, they have not left each other's side this entire game. They will be beating down on this stack that just happened, taking that away from most likely the Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend, have not seen him in a while. He does have 73 CS, but it does look like he's getting ganked out right now. He is in a lot of trouble. The starter does go off, and there goes No Fun Naga.
No Fun Naga just says, no, I don't want to fight. And that's the end of the fight. It ends that quickly, but you can't do that for another 3 minutes. And you were just talking about the Shadow Fiend, Rag, but he's only got his Ogre Club for the BKB. He's going first up, straight up BKB. So no Shadow Blade, no Blink Dagger, straight BKB, which he does need in this game. He really does need it. But he is a little bit behind at the moment. He's only 300 GPM, which you look at Mirana and Lena. Lena's at 504, Mirana's at 430, and she's almost got her Lincoln Sphere. She's
And a Blink Dagger.
What? Lena's got a Blink Dagger now? Oh, he's huge. This is 14 minutes in, folks, and Lena has a Blink Dagger and a Dagon and level 14. What's her experience a minute? Let me find the button for that. 747 experience a minute. Nearly, almost double Shadow Fiend, who's at 390 and is the next highest. He's got a lot of experience, and that's from 7 near solo kills. 7 kills, 1 assist. He's been in 8 of the 10 kills. Everyone else has been in 2. So that just tells you all that experience just being funneled straight into that Lena. It's a lot of experience, and that's kind of scary because she can almost kill one. She can combo down any of them, Rag, easily. Visage 850 HP, Alchemist 930, Clockwork 910, Naga 815. Shadow Fiend's 1200 at the moment with his boots on int.
Mirana's only 1300 away from finishing off that Lincoln Sphere now. As well, she's just managed to pick up her ultimate orb, so she'll be going, having the time of her life once she gets that up. She was not going to be able to get stunned by the unstable concoction or the net from Naga. They will have to try and throw a couple of things out to get her, but I love it. And Lena just burst down Shadow Fiend.
I went to watch Alchemist, and I come back and Jizz Bond has just owned Smithy.
The moment I want to talk about this Lincoln Sphere, Lena gets a kill.
Back to the Lincoln Sphere.
Anyway, the Lincoln Sphere. This is actually a Dota 1 build that's coming out from the Mirana. It was a little more trademarked for Mirana getting a Yasha made famous. I can't remember. It was one of the Na'Vi players in the International 1. They used her as a side laner so often. And, yeah, I think it was Light of Heaven did it.
Ooh.
Oh, and the stun comes out. We should get the tower. Yes, she's actually going to get the tower.
Good play.
And a couple of shots going down on, and he will try and get out of there, but the team.
Oh, he's going nowhere.
Yeah, they will beat him down, and Chen is actually the one who's going to pick that up. The two familiars actually now drop down, and that's some very.
Goodbye, Untamed.
The
there he goes. The concoction coming out, and then Jizz Bond just with the Dagon. Just the Dagon popped him, but he did trade his life for. The tower did do a lot of damage there after he got hit with Unstable Concoction, and then Smithy just came in and just cleaned up with a couple of Shadow Razors, auto attacks, just smack him down a little. But now we're going to see CSW pushing onto that mid tower, and now Visage, Suckundi's in a bit of trouble, takes a lot of damage, and there he goes. Slick's finishing off the kill with a nice Sacred Arrow. That was good work from Guani there as well, training the Centaur stumps with the Z-Muffin Man's Impale, and it's just allowed him to set up a perfect 1, 2, 3, 4 stun combo. And they're going to be able to push onto that middle lane now. Visage is still down for another 10 seconds. Naga does have her ulti up though now, Rag. No points in mirror image still, and we've gone 0-3-3-1. So she's still in level 7. We need to see her leveling up a bit just to get Song of the Siren on a shorter cooldown. And just to give her team that room to farm. Alchemist only has a Mithril Hammer at the moment with his Phase Boots Midas. He's not that huge for an Alchemist, or at least what he should be at this point of the game.
Definitely not for the start he had. I mean, he had max points in Grieval's Greed. He got a hand to Midas within about 4 minutes of the game. Then he had his phase boots up really, really early. But as I said earlier, he was very, very squishy. That Lena came down and just absolutely burst the crap out of him down there in that bottom lane. His supports weren't there at the time, so they weren't able to give him that protection to be able to get out. But you have a look at this Mirana. Mirana does have a full Lincoln Sphere now. She will be moving down in the bottom lane. It wouldn't surprise me at all if we saw a couple of damage items, most likely a Desolator come out of her very, very shortly. If not that first, at least a casual Yasha, just so she's got the attack speed and a little bit of bonus damage.
Yeah, I think it'll be Deso before Yasha, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But the Yasha...
I was just thinking casual Yasha. Casual Yasha.
The Deso is such good damage, especially with the negative armor. You know, it's the output is huge. And now we've got a little bit of a push on Rashan from CSW. They're going to throw the tier 1 tower at top. It's still on full health. They're going to open that up with a stun from 5-second arrow onto Rashan. He's just going to have a little bash fight with the Seder Tormentors. That sounds weird. But they're going to take that pretty quickly. Clockwork scouts it out though. He knows they're at Rashan, but there is nothing they can do against it. Rashan's down to 3.5k life. We have teleports coming in, but they're not really going to make a push on it. All they know is it's happening. We can't do a thing about it. We'll let them have it. What can we do instead? They're going to try and push onto that tier 1 on top, and here goes Smoothie. Takes the Jizz Bond combo straight to the face, and I must say, he just got creamed. So they get, not only does CSW get the Rashan, they get a nice kill at top and save that tier, the tier 1 tower, because Jizzbomb was lucky enough to have a Invis rune in his bottle and just popped Shadow Fiend. What do you do?
It wouldn't surprise me at all if we see some mana regen items, like most likely a sheepstick coming out from Jizzbond soon. There is a Jizzbot, whatever. From Jizzbond, seeing something like a sheepstick come out of him very, very shortly, because he needs that mana regen. He needs it quickly. Because he's always running out of mana as much as he has his boots and stuff. Just the Laguna Blade, 680 mana at level 3. It takes so much of his mana away. Getting that sheepstick will give him a good mana pool, good mana regen, and some nice stats that'll help him out even more just to survive and so on. But it does look like they will be going for that bottom tier 2 tower just to get rid of all the towers on the outer. And here comes an arrow. Will it hit? No, too short.
Too short, too short. And I'm just looking at the numbers there. Laguna Blade, Dagon. 1650 damage before magic resist. So about 1300 damage.
That was a great Mad Lib.
That's
and
a lot.
It costs... What is it?
680, 180, 860 mana.
860 mana.
He can do it twice before having to refresh. But he does have the bottle and the mana boots, so it's not too bad. He might have to swap. Yeah, he's going to look like he's going to pick up either an Arganims or a Bloodstone. Probably the Arganims, actually, considering he's just going for pure burst more than efficiency. But they're going to, now we have CSW pushing onto that bottom tier 3 tower rag. Slicks is just sort of leading the charge, I should say. And, because he's got the Lincoln Sphere now, just for some nice mana regen. He's up at 8 health regen, and they can just push him with the creeps. Reactive Armor going to give Timbersaw a little bit of extra health, and Zamuffin Man's at the back. He's got Vendetta up at the moment, so he's just sort of supporting them there. While we've got Smithy from the Radiant is farming the Dire jungle while his tier 3's getting pushed.
Yeah, he knows his jungle is not safe whatsoever. He knows that they probably don't quite have enough to push up into that high ground just yet. With the acid spray, with the what is it, Riptide, they've got too much negative armor to be able to do it. And there we go, up into the top lane. We see Slicks go straight up there. He's going to be pushing back out on this top lane, just so he's able to get all the lanes pushing. Like, you have a look, they've split off. They want all the lanes pushing, because Clockwork with his rockets can just keep out pushing out other lanes. He doesn't even need to be there. He just shoots the rocket up and they lose health, and there's already a disadvantage in that lane. So the lanes keep automatically pushing out.
Yeah, they are. They're going to keep working on that bottom tower, but on that bottom racks. But they just can't break that high ground yet. Just not yet. It'll come soon. But if they can get a pick off with that Lina, they should probably be able to get that, and they do have the advantage. They're 15k gold, 14k experience in the lead. Just having a look at the GPMs, I'll bring that up for you viewers. Where have we got it? We got Mirana and Lina both on 520. Then you got Alchemist Shadow Fiend 410, 345. So that's your safe lane carry and your mid. On the top of each team, as it should be expected. Then you've got your Timbersaw and your what's he called? Chen. But that's not it. Like, look at the hero level difference.
Oh, Mirana,
17, 13, 11, 11, 9.
Be in a little bit of trouble. She does manage to leap away, and the Lincoln Spear saves it from the net from Naga up in that top lane.
That down at bot though, we've got that push coming in again. They've got Chen and Timbersaw and Lina just pushing through those creeps. Chen's taking his little army and he's going to go find a Wildkin and get rid of one of the Satyrs. That Wildkin, I don't know why he wanted that. I suppose the extra armor. But Lina and Timbersaw just go straight through that creep wave really quickly. Lina's got another 2.6k gold up her sleeve. Mirana 4k gold, so we could even see like a butterfly or an MKB coming up from Mirana. Nope, never mind.
Deso.
Straight up Deso, as you just casually buying a Deso straight up. As you do. But now Smitty and Naga are both going to move onto that top lane, try and defend it a little bit from outside the base, which is quite risky. I mean, that whole sort of outside this area that I've just drawn on the map for you, it's dangerous, dangerous territory. That's do not go land. This area here is controlled by CSW. And if it looks like I just drew on the entire map, I did.
Well, we just saw our minute 22. We saw our first major item pickup for Alpha. They've managed to get a BKB finally on the Alchemist now, so he's going to be able to finally jump in. And as I say, that Shadowfiend has managed to pick up his BKB as well. So now this Lina burst won't be as good as it was, but I mean, there's still enough right click. Now the Mirana has a Desolator plus the Lincoln Sphere giving her all those stats. She's going to have plenty of right click damage. And here we go, straight in. There we go.
BKB pop.
Gets popped, and they're just going to walk away right now. They just want to try and get out. And Timbersaw, you have a look at him. He's just basically trying to save the Lina. And the ult does go off from SF, but does not hit. Invis does go off, but unfortunately he uses a move able to be seen. Visage will get picked up there by the Lina. So it's a trade 1-for-1. The Timbersaw for the Visage. And look at this right behind. They've got all the rest of their team just hiding in the wings, just waiting. And there we go. Bang, gone, dead.
It is, and it's just the follow-up as well. Nagasara and ultis, and it allows her team to get in place. Visage takes out Jizz Bond, followed by Nyx Assassin, popping that Alchemist, who was just going to end up getting stunned there. Mirana comes in with a double kill, and that's a 4-for-2 trade. Sorry, 5-for-2 trade. Alchemist bought back. Visage is now up again, and that's going to give Slicks, Guardians, Muffin Man pretty much free reign onto that bottom tower. Alchemist the only person who's really able to do much at the moment. The Glyph's going to come out. 5 seconds of sort of get yourself together. Come up here. We're going to have the Aegis reclaimed in a couple of seconds. Cocktail coming out. Dodged by Slicks. No, he didn't dodge it. Never mind. What the hell, animations? Why you do this to me? But they are going to keep trying to push onto that. We've got a buyback from Naga Siren now. And they're going to keep defending this. Slicks and Muffin Man aren't really able to break that high ground just yet, Ragnarok. And now Guani's going to have to back off. He's going back into the jungle, finish off that camp, and they're going to sort of regroup and defend a bit. And look, that was a good defense from Alpha. They did have to waste a couple buybacks, but waste is a loose term. They didn't actually waste it. They've still got their racks. And it was only, what, a quarter of the HP on that tower? They're definitely going to have to be defensive for a bit, but it's not over yet. We've just seen that they can't break that high ground. The experience is sort of dipped up a little bit, but not much. And we got a gem coming out on Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, he also picked himself up a 4-staff just then as well, so he's going to be able to force himself. Usually we see a Blink Dagger early on for a Nyx Assassin, so he can blink in and impale, but he's gone for that 4-staff instead. So he's going to be able
in trouble at top.
Yep.
Now we've got Muffin Man coming in. Hook shot from White Yaksha, bringing him into the fight. But he's going to go straight down to Jizz Bond. That Lina combo, it was just stun, nuke, and Dagon. And there goes Shadowfiend with a Laguna Blade. Ice is nice now in a bit of trouble as well. But Net coming out onto Jizz Bond, and the Visage stun's going to save that Naga from almost certain death. So that's just 2 quick pickups there. And it was a bit unfortunate for Clockwork to hookshot in there. Wrong place, wrong time. And it ended up in himself getting killed quite mercilessly.
Oh, and just look at the damage that Mirana's doing to that Alchemist right now. That was 1 Starfall on 2 right clicks, and Alchemist is down to a quarter of his HP. And here we go.
There he goes.
Blinks in, just instantly stunned, instantly with the Dagon, bursts down the Alchemist for the rest of his life, and that's basically all the counter push now gone. Shadowfiend's up in another 15 seconds, but they're going to be able to take this tower and just right-click it down as much as they want. Lina's there, Timbersaw's now picked up his Bloodstone, so he's going to have plenty. And there we go, we do have another stun coming out, and ultimate as well from the Lina. Laguna Blade blowing up that Visage, and this is just basically free range on this tower. They just need to sit back, just let the creeps do a lot of the work, and they're going to pick up this tower, and then Alpha's not going to be able to stand there anymore.
No, and they're losing both top and bottom at the same time. And I think, did Hookshot? He just Hookshot it, he did. But at top rag, we got Ganking Mid and Slicks pushing on that tier top on that top tower. And they're going to probably get the top racks here. And I don't think Alpha know what to do. Do they defend bot? Do they defend top? What do they do? Smithy's going to try and defend bot solo, and that's not going to work out very well for him. Muffin Man's going to pop him very quickly. He's going to go down in a second. Naga's had to ulti top to stop Slicks and ganking from going in there. The Cogs is going to come out. White Yaksha is now going to go down to a nice combo from Mirana. A stun followed up by the couple of auto attacks. And they're going to try and get that racked. No, they're not. They're going to push in. Nagasaran also goes down. Going to take the creeps. Here comes Suck on D's. Trying to get a soul assumption off. He's taking a lot of damage from both Slicks and ganking again. That Timbersaw's damage just ruining him. But I think a bit of Gravekeeper's Cloak might have just kept him alive there. Slicks is going to take a lot more damage. And there we go. The Mirana ulti's coming out. Untamed. I don't know what happened to him. He's taken a Mirana arrow from across the map. sort of way down here. I don't know what he's done there. Now we've got Mirana buying back. Shadow Fiend's popping the BKB. He's going in. Jizzbond just launching little fiery projectiles. Gets the kill there. Alchemist Concoction comes on to Jizzbond. He's now getting hit by the Visage Bats. And we're going to see another buyback? No, it was just the Mirana buyback. And here we go. Now we've got the Alchemist BKB. He's going to try and slap Jizzbond down. And he's ghost-lifted himself. He's going to stay alive, trying to pick up that ethereal blade. And is White Yaksha in trouble? There he goes now. This is just a complete war here at this lane rag. We've got a random arrow flying in.
Goes down.
There goes Lena. The fight might subside a little bit. Now Ice is nice, popping those mirror images. He's going to try and defend. So out of that, this is just turmoil. And now Slixie's back for round 2. And there he is, just launching arrow after arrow into that Naga Siren. She's going to go down. Slix isn't done. He's still got 500 health. He's still ticking. The Bloodstone's on Timbersaw. He's had a field day with all those charges. And there goes the Alchemist. Laguna Blade straight out. And the GG gets called. It was bound to happen. And that fight there just...
I was going to jump in at some point, but I thought you're doing so well, I might as well sit back and let you
Water!
go.
Where's water?
Yeah. Aghanim Scepter on Lena, such a ridiculous cooldown with a ridiculous amount of burst damage. You just can't do it. They managed to take her out, but she had enough money to buy straight back. So she was back down into that fight, and that was the hardest thing for Alpha. They wasted their buybacks earlier. Well, they didn't exactly waste them. They used their buybacks earlier, so the moment they pushed back in, there was still a massive cooldown on those buybacks. I think it was about 3 minutes when that fight broke out. So Alchemist and Shadow Fiend had both had to wait out that amount of time before they were able to jump back into the fight again. Just basically good teamwork coming out there. Lena in the mid lane, I was quite surprised by that early on because I thought Lena support, Nyx Assassin mid, but it just seemed to work out really, really well with Jizzbond, aka Godot, going into that mid lane as the Lena. Very, very Dendy style Dota play with that, just trying to use unconventional heroes that people aren't used to playing against to go in there and just manage to absolutely smash the face.
Yeah, look, and it definitely worked for them. It was the early kills on from Jizzbond onto that Shadow Fiend, which sort of got the ball rolling, and CSW really just snowballed pretty hard from there. There wasn't anything they could do because that snowball just kept getting bigger and bigger, and you can look at Jizzbond's score there, 24-5. And he was just so aggressive with his gameplay. He went that Dagon, then the Blink Dagger, and it allowed him that mobility and extra damage that could just shut out any of those heroes. Alchemist and Shadow Fiend didn't have their BKBs. They didn't have that max HP to keep them alive. That combo was just killing them, and it was every minute and a half that it was occurring, Rag. And there was... There's no way to stop that, and once he got to that point where it was a high enough level, it was just lather, rinse, repeat over and over again, while Slicks kept getting farm on your top lane, while Muffin Man ganking mid pushed on that bottom lane, while Muffin and Guani pushed that top lane or the mid lane and pushed those towers. It was just really good communication and team play from CSW.
Yeah, all it was shut down the Shadow Fiend, shut down the Alchemist, two of the biggest snowballers in the Dota at the moment, and basically they have the game won, and that's all they managed. That's all they did is just shut down those two big carries, and that was the end of the game for them. It was going to be very, very hard to come back there for Alpha from any point from that from then on.
Yeah, it snowballed out of control. So that is a good game for CSW, taking round 1 over Team Alpha. We're going to actually